All right.
Okay, how is everybody doing? It has been 2 weeks. Oh my God. My name is Coach Jane. I am a growth mindset coach. I'm excited to be doing today's topic. I'm excited to be seeing you guys again. Last time when Coach Jay did the live, I didn't have a voice at all, at all, at all. I was unwell, but I'm glad to be back on my feet. So today I'm excited because we're going to be talking about the topic understanding negative self-talk, which is something that we hear about it, but do we ever understand what negative self-talk is, or it's just something that it's just like a name we give to something? So together with me, I'm with Coach Joy. She's going to introduce herself and then we will start from there. Over to you.
All right. Thank you. Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is okay. It's almost the end of the year. November makes me excited, you know. But yeah, I'm excited to be here today. It's been 2 weeks, like Coach Jay said, and today we have an interesting topic. But just to introduce myself, my name is Joyce Loy Jumpewe, better known as the Dare to Glow coach. I'm a confidence coach. You could you could call me empowerment coach, but more on the confidence level. So you need your confidence level lifted up. I'm your go-to person. So excitedly regarding this topic on a higher level, because we do this a lot to ourselves, and we lose out on life. We lose out on so many beautiful things that could happen because of those small talks we have within us. Or some people call it the inner person, your inner person who keeps telling you no, 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 no. So no keeps, it becomes part of you. But yes, I'll give it back to Coach Jay to do the introduction of the topic. Otherwise, I'm really excited for this topic.
Exciting, amazing. It's lovely to see you once more. It's always lovely to talk to you.
I
So,
know.
understanding negative self talk. First, I want to say that self talk is like the navigation system when it comes to self love, self appreciation, self confidence. It is that inner talk that you tell to yourself. It is that thing that you normally tell yourself. I might be here with joy, but what is that thing that I'm telling myself deep down? What is that thing that I'm saying? So it refers to that internal dialogue that you are having. So a negative self talk refers to something like that self inhibiting talk or those self inhibiting words that you tell to yourself. I cannot do this, I'm not good enough, they hate me, and all these negative words that we tell to ourselves. I think a number of times you mentioned about when we stand in front of the mirror and it's just me and looking at my reflection, what do I say to myself? So that's a part of a self-talk. What do I say? Those words that I utter to myself when I'm alone. That is what you're talking about being negative, negative self-talk. So there is no kill switch of saying automatically when you come and work with me or you work with Coach Joy, we'll just do like kalas done. There's no kill switch for that. It involves a lot of work. It involves a lot of you starting to talk positive words to yourself and being mindful of yourself. When you're mindful of yourself, you start making great difference. So it's being mindful. Okay, I always say I can't. How can I replace can't? What can I do with can't? So today we're going to unpack negative self-talk from left, right, north, south, depending on what you found or what Coach Joy found. And we hope that it's going to give you value. So I'll hand over to Coach Joy to give her opening keynotes, and then we can continue from there.
All right. My opening keynote would be negative self talk is the inner dialogue, just like Coach just said, the inner dialogue that could be limiting your ability to believe in yourself, to reach your full potential. Because every time you tell yourself the small talk, they demotivate you to do more of who you do or be, you know? So things like, I'm not good at this. How do you know you're not good at that? Oh, you know what? I can't be involved. I'm not good at it. How? How do you know you're not good if you don't try it? Unless you've tried it and you feel that is not your to go to place. But if you've not tried something, we have the tendency of saying, I am not good at it. I'm not good at this. please put me out, before you even get to know what exactly would come out of it. The other thing is, I can never do anything good. You know, you believe everything you put your hands to. You're not good at it. You're not good. You're not good. You're not good. How sure are you're not putting enough effort? What are those things you're not doing right for you to think that way? So there
Mm-hmm.
are lots of those inner talks that we feed on ourselves. And every time we feed them to ourselves, we get anxiety, we get depression, which causes a lot of stress.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, when it comes to inner talks, you can get rid of it. And how? Those are some of the things we'll be sharing today on how, on tips of how you can stop the negative talks within yourself. Because self talk is you itself. No one is telling you you're not good enough. It is you telling yourself, I am not good enough. The first thing when someone comes to me and tells me, oh, Joy, you know what? I'm looking at you helping me become more confident. The first thing I want to know from you as a person is, are you self-aware? You know, do you tell yourself those negative talks? Those are some of the things we work through, because most cases the lack of confidence is self. It comes from within. I can't stand on that stage. I can't talk to people. I can't talk to five people in front of me. How do I look at the camera, in the camera, and talk to people? They are looking at me. They are judging me. All these things are self. They are inner. So when we work on our inner beliefs, on those inner self beliefs that limit us to be who we are, then we live a really fully meaningful life. So back to you, Coach Jay, to give us your first point.
It's amazing how you mentioned that it is you, which is exactly that self talk itself. We are underlining the word self. Self is me. And I will ask you, Coach Jay, give me your top three types of cars that comes in your head right now.
Porsche, a Range Rover, and lastly, a Mercedes Q2.
Thank you. So, negative self talk, it's just not a Range Rover. It comes in many forms, shapes, colors, and all that. And the moment you identify which form of negative self talk affects you the most, it becomes more important for you to know how to handle it. And that's when you work with a coach. The coach is going to be able to help you understand which area in your life or which form of negative self talk is affecting you the most. And so I will start by saying that there are many different forms of negative self talk. I came up with about four. And as we go on, I'll be mentioning one or two or three together as we do the exchanging of points. And number one is negative self talk in the form of personalizing. And I will ask this question: how many times have you said, it's not me, it's not you, it's me? They hate me. Anytime you, maybe you texted your spouse, and then they're taking time to respond, and then they're like, they're cheating on me. Everything you underline the word me, me, me. It's not anybody else out there, it's me who is the problem. That's a form of a negative self-talk. Anytime you're pointing fingers to yourself, that's a form of a negative self-talk. And how does that affect you? It affects you because you start diminishing yourself. You start seeing yourself like you don't matter. You start feeling like you're not good enough, you know? When opportunities are presented, you feel like, that's not for me. Maybe Coach Joy can do it. You keep talking to yourself down, you keep looking down on yourself. And when moments you realize that this is how the negative self-talk affects you, you can work on it. You can start by speaking positively about yourself, taking the challenges. And importantly, I have two things you can do. Number one, ask yourself these tough questions. They're easy, but yet they're tough. Is the thought a fact or just my interpretation? Is it true that Coach Joy hates me? Is it true that my spouse is cheating on me? And number two, what you can do is there any evidence to prove the thoughts? Okay, I think Coach Joy hates me, but is it true? Is there any evidence that she hates me? And the moment that you start answering these questions, you come to realize like, it's all in my head. It's just me who is thinking about these things. Maybe Coach Joy is busy, she didn't get time to get back to me. Maybe your spouse is busy, they didn't get time to get back to you. But because you keep telling yourself you're not good enough, you keep assuming that people around you, they don't love you, people around you, they don't respect you, people around you, they don't pay attention to you. But it is you who is not seeing the bigger picture. So when you ask yourself, is it true? That's number one. Is it a fact or interpretation? And number two, is there any evidence to prove this? And after that, you'll be amazed by the answers you get. Back to you.
All right. So one of my first points is going to be unlovable. One of the common self-talks we tell ourselves is, I am unlovable. No one can love me. No one loves me. Who says so? When you call someone, like actually Coach Jay said, you call someone, they don't reply you immediately, or they don't reply you at all for that day. She doesn't love me. You start sending so many messages, even before you get a reply. Other things are now coming along. You're calling everyone and telling them how no one loves you, no one is there for you. And most cases, it's just a scenario one. So for me, I'll give an example of what is happening right now. Yeah, I have an event happening this Saturday on the 5th of November. And I have those friends. I know it's exciting. I'm excited. I've been off the grid for a lot of things because of the preparations, but yeah, I'm excited. And for me, I've come to a point where I don't allow this negative self-talk. It was getting to me, and I had to remind myself, because I had to nickname my inner self-talk, those small things that come into my mind and want to get me to thinking that maybe I'm not lovable. Like, that is my point right now. So I was still giving you the scenario for what is happening on 5th, right? November. So I have some few friends, almost like 3 so far, who just called me and told me, hey, Joe, I'm sorry, I'll not be able to make it. What is the reason? They don't give. What do? I don't ask. What do? I assume. You see where it starts happening, where you start having a lot of those inner talks coming into you. Oh, now she has backed out of my event. He has backed out of my event. He's not supportive. She's not supportive. She doesn't like me. She doesn't want to see me succeed, which is not true. If someone doesn't give you a reason, you have no reason at all in you to start judging or to start putting reasons to why they are not doing what you expected them to do. This expectation that we have, we have a lot of expectations of people. So when things don't happen our way, we start having a lot of these inner talks within us, negative inner talks. So what did I do when they told me I'm not making it? I didn't ask. And I told myself I'm not going to assume, because these are people I don't expect to miss. But it's understandable. At the end of the day, this is UAE. Things happen,
Yeah.
Someone is going to be excited about something, another minute it's a different thing. So for me, what am I trying to say in this situation? We always assume people don't love us. Ask yourself, is it true? Just like Coach just said, because these are ways you can stop negative talk. We're actually, I think, giving points and giving the solution. So tips on how you can stop this negative talk is ask yourself, is it true? Is it true that this person is not coming to my event because they don't love me, because they don't support me? It will help you stop the assumptions. It will stop you actually to stop having the negative self-talk about yourself and judging those people. The other thing is remind yourself that thoughts are just facts. Thoughts are not facts, sorry. Thoughts are not facts. You thinking that someone has not done what you wanted them to do does not make that thought of yours that, oh, they don't love me, oh, they're not supportive, oh, da, 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 and all these things. Because when you start the inner thoughts, you're going to start hating those people, you're going to start avoiding them, you're going to start having all these kind of behavior towards them, and it will ruin the relationship you have with them. So back to you, Coach Jay.
It's amazing how you've put it. Thoughts are not fact, and it aligns with what I said. Where is the evidence? So when you're having these thoughts, where is the evidence to prove that actually this person does not want to support you, this person does not love you, and all that? So my point number two is going to be unappreciative, which is another form of negative self-talk, or we can term it as filtering. At one point, we are all guilty of paying attention to the negative parts of a situation and forgetting the positive. For example, let's say in the example that Kojoy has given us now, these friends, despite not showing up, they took the time, sent the message, and called her and told her, I will not make it. So, for the purpose of planning, if she had planned a space for them, she's able to give allocation space to other people. But if you have a negative mindset, what will happen? You will focus on the why they're not coming and forget all other benefits around that. You become unappreciative. And personally, I'll give an example of weight loss, because this is something I'm doing, and not even weight loss, like fitness itself in general. And at the end of the week, I always do reviews of what worked, what did not work, what did I not do, because I have my weekly goals. And then I realized that there are one or two things that I didn't do. So before, I used to focus on what I didn't do. And that will drain me. That will make me feel bad. It will make me feel like, you know what, this is not for me. These are all forms of negative self talk. Instead of me focusing on what did I achieve, instead of me celebrating what did I do, what did I accomplish. And it's not just about fitness goals, it can be about money. Maybe your goal is to have $3,000 at the end of, let's say, October. And then you realize when you're doing your review right now, you're at $2,300. Instead of
Mm.
celebrating the milestone that you've made, what do? You focus on the 700. You lose the morale for November for you to raise the money that you want. So instead of you being, okay, good job, Jane, and then asking yourself, why did I not reach that 3,000? Where is the seven? Where did the 700 go? And maybe if you do analysis, you'll realize that the 700 went to an emergency that I had, maybe a medical emergency. It went to an emergency that happened here or there, or I had to pay for something that I could not avoid. And by doing so, for next month, you budget again for something that, if an unexpected thing happens, this is what will happen. I will not touch the money that I'm saving. So, where am I going with this? Personally, what I'm using, which people can also use, what I do when I'm doing my review, I write the positives of the goals of what I wanted. What did I accomplish? One, two, three, four, five. And then I write down what did I not accomplish? Maybe one, two, three. And then I don't know if you remember the seesaw. When you were kids, we used to play with the seesaw.
Mm.
Exactly. I draw the seesaw. Which one outweighs the other? The positives are more than the negatives. So the seesaw goes up. And then I start asking myself, how can I move this three to this side? And when you do that, by the time you finish a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you come to realize that the three that were pending, they start migrating to the other side because you are happy with the achievements. You're okay that you did not accomplish what you wanted. And now you find ways you can do or you can improve in all these areas. So it's the same thing I would like to pass on to everybody. Don't be unappreciative. Celebrate the small things. Life is not so, you don't have to be all tough on yourself. You don't have to be all, too, I don't know even the best word to use for that. So make sure you celebrate what you've achieved. Whatever you've not achieved, ask yourself, what can I do for next time to improve on this? Or what do I learn from this? Maybe the target is too high. Maybe 3,000 is beyond my reach. Everything that I do to generate money cannot help me generate 3,000. So what do? I revisit my goal again and be realistic with myself, because sometimes we are too hard on ourselves. We are too hard.
Mm.
We have to raise 10,000. You don't have a job, you don't have a side hustle that is giving you income. So where are you going to get the 10,000 from in that month? So you have to be realistic with your goals at the same time. And that's where as coaches we come in. When you come and tell me, Coach Jay, I want to have 10,000 by the end of October, I will ask you, what is your plan? How do you plan to raise the money? I don't know. I'm just thinking. So you need to think deeper than the thinking. You need to come up with plans on how you'll generate that money. Back to you, Coach Jay.
That is very true. I mean, I'm thinking of how unrealistic we live lives, you know? And the more we live unrealistic lives, it causes us to have that negative self-talk. Because
Mm,
that's where all those things come in. Oh my
yeah.
God, I was supposed to hit the target of 5,000 within this week. How are you going to hit that target when you don't have clients paying you that much? Eh? so unrealistic of us sometimes. And then we start feeling bad about ourselves. Oh, I think people are not supporting me. All right. My next point. My point is going to be core beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
Our core beliefs are very, very important because they give us perception, sorry,
Mm-hmm.
perception on how we look at life.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Joe, we are two people. One person looks at life as I am not worth it. Another one looks at life as I am worth it. These are two different people looking at one situation. Now, I have this situation. You meet a new person and think about asking them to go out for coffee. What is going to happen to these two people? One who thinks I'm not worth it, and the other one who thinks I am worth it. The one who says I am not worth it is going to say, why would they ever go out with me? They did not ask, right?
Yeah.
And they are not even going to ask, by the way, because already they have that thought of, why would she go out to coffee with me? Hmm? Confidently, she tells herself that in her inner self or her mind. Why would Coach J go out with me for coffee? How did we meet Coach J? We met at school. Basically, for me, that was school. But
Mm.
did we meet by looking at each other the whole time? Oh, look at that beautiful lady. Oh, she's walking. Oh, she walks nice. Oh, uh, and the whole time we're looking at each other. Oh, we had to talk.
Mm-hmm.
That is
Yeah.
how we became friends. You get.
Yeah.
So anyway, there is this second person who says, I am worth it. And this person, what does this person do? She's like, okay, I see Coach J. I think I would learn something, one or two from Coach J. So what does she do? She confidently walks to Coach J and says, hey, Coach J, can we go out and catch up for coffee? And asks the person, she asks the person, because she doesn't have those inner self talks of, what would she say? I don't think she would even like me. What
Mm.
makes you think she would not like you? What makes you think so? You never know, she's also out there thinking the same thing, and you both have to come to a point. One of you has to come to the other. So, what am I trying to say? Our core beliefs help us to either have positive or negative self talk. So, sometimes you have to choose, do I go to the side of having negative self talk so that I'm out, I'm able to be seen, because it's the only way you can be seen, it's the only way you can be heard, it's the only way you can have friends. you
Mm.
know um I got to learn this year that I'm an ambivert. This year is when I learned that I'm actually an ambivert. All this while I had a half number of people who believed I'm an extrovert, and a few, maybe five people out of the people that have known me all my life calling me introvert. But everyone I know almost in my life says I'm an extrovert. Until this year, I learned that I'm actually an ambivert. I love my time at home. I love my me time. I enjoy it. And I also enjoy time out there. So when I'm out there with people, I give 100%. What am I trying to say? When you're out there, show up. It doesn't matter whether you're in a situation where we've gone for events. I've gone for events where I'm not paid. I've gone to events where I'm paid. But both events, I show up 100%. So in everything you do, use your core beliefs. When you're showing up in anything, show up 100%, not halfway. You know what? This person who has invited me, I don't think this person can add any much value to me. That person may not add value to you, but people around that person or where you're going may add value to you. But
Mm.
your mindset is the one that is going to determine you being able to meet those people who are worth it, who you feel are worth it. So have the mindset of you're worth it, because you are. The moment you start having that mind of I'm not worth it, I'm not worth it, you're going to work with I am not worth it. And it's going to be seen on your face. The days when I'm not happy, the days when I feel tired, everyone can just see it on my face. Because man, I show up. I'm one person who shows up. So what am I trying to say? Anyone out there, if you want to avoid the negative self-talk, that negative funny self-talk, I call it funny self-talk, you have to change your core beliefs. You have to start believing you are worth it. Put on those glasses that say
Mm.
I am worth it. If you go in a room and you see someone and you want to talk to them, talk to them. Let them tell you I don't have time. Let them be the one to tell you those things you have in your mind. Other than you having them in your mind, you sit the whole time, you fold your hands and just keep looking at everyone walking. You go to a networking event and you just fold your hands and look at everyone walking by. You live the same way you came. How? The only way you can change yourself and be better. And I love your slogan, Coach Jay. Change is a what?
Start in the mindset.
Change starts in the mindset. Because there is nothing that
Mm,
starts from nowhere. It starts from here with your body and with your gut feeling. They all
absolutely,
work together. So
absolutely.
live a life of I am worth it, and trust me, all those self talks, every time they come, you have a solution for them. What will be the solution? Give them a nickname, like I said. Give them a nickname. When they come, you're like, you know what? You can give them a nickname. Let me say, let me say banana. I don't want to use someone's name and offend anyone. Banana, stop it. I don't want to hear you. I don't want to hear anything from you, banana. Just S up. I don't want
Hmm.
to hear anything. Coach J, back to you.
Well, I have to say this. I don't know if you've watched SpongeBob SquarePants. I think everybody has
Oh,
watched
I
SpongeBob.
love SpongeBob. Come on.
And I've nicknamed my, that negative self-talk. I call it Squidward. I think you know Squidward because it's always like I don't like him in the movie anyway, in the series.
The one with the sharp head.
So I'm always like, oh, Squidward is here, Squidward is here. And then automatically I start paying attention to what I'm thinking at that time. So it's amazing what you've said because my other point is also linked to what you've said. And it's about the energy that you want to carry. What type of energy do you take with you? Because energy matters a lot. And it reminds me of one of our classmates. She was called Abla. She was the energy person. And yes. And these are the type of things that I mean by energy. When your manager calls you to the office, what does your mind think? 90% of the people automatically think they're in
What did I
trouble.
do wrong?
No, you're good. 90% of the people, they're like, they're in trouble. They're about to get fired. Nobody thinks like, ooh, promotion is coming. I'm getting a salary raise. A very small percentage thinks that way. Or when you think about maybe starting a business, what comes in your mind? When you thought about starting coaching Coach J, most people will start thinking like, will people even sign up with me? Let's even say about the event. There's person A who does two people they want to do an event. Person A is like, nobody will show up. There's no point of doing it. Person B is like, man, people are going to show up. I don't know how I'm going to accommodate all these people. These are two different types of mindsets. Or you want to write a book. Most people they want to be authors, but nobody has even written the first page. Why? Will people even like what I write? Will people even understand what I write? What if they criticize me? What if, what if, what if, what if? And by the time you're done asking these all what ifs, 1 year has passed, 2 years have passed, 5 years. Maybe you were single, now you're married, life is happening, you have children. You don't even have the time anymore. And by the time you think back, you're 50, you're telling people a story like, I always wanted to write a book, but you're still telling yourself, what if people don't read it? What if, what if, what if? There's so many scenarios where even maybe in the morning you woke up, you want to do something, you're like, what if this doesn't happen? Why are you being so negative on yourself? How about showing up and then, whatever happens, happens. You don't expect anything. You just show up, showing up. Or you can ask yourself, on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely is this going to happen? On a scale of 1 to 10, how likely is the manager going to fire me? How likely is the manager going to give me a salary raise? On a scale of, and when you tell yourself it's a 10, then you have reasons, you have the evidence why you think you're going to be fired. Because sometimes you're not even in trouble, you know? But your mind automatically just goes, it switches off. I'm in trouble, I'm in trouble, I'm in trouble. So another thing you can ask yourself, okay, fine. If it's a 10, they're going to fire me. Is it okay? What will happen? What's the worst that will happen? And automatically, instead of feeling sorry for yourself, you start thinking of solutions. You start becoming resourceful. When you're in the negative state, you're unresourceful because all you're thinking about is the blame game, the what ifs, blah, blah, blah. But when you come into the resourceful state, you start thinking of solutions. By the time you're told you're fired, probably you're signing another contract somewhere else because you outsmarted that negative self-talk. So whenever you are in this situation, stop catastrophe. Is it catastrophe? Oh, that word. Stop it and start being resourceful with your mind. All right, back to you.
So you mentioned something that that is my point, but you didn't explain it. So I'll explain it, and it's my last point. I don't. I'm not good with talking about negative talk. You know, I just want to give solutions for the negative talk. This mind, I want to avoid negative talk. You know. Anyway, so a blame game. Oh my God, we do this, and I used to do this. I used to do this a lot. I always had someone to blame for something, you know. Something beautiful about the negative self-talk is it helps you to have reason. You always have reason to put blame to someone else. I didn't get the promotion. I think it's because the manager is jealous
Mm,
about me. I think the manager doesn't like me. I think the manager sabotaged the whole situation of me being promoted. You get fired. I was fired. I was fired because these people don't like my race where I come from. They don't like, you know, you start every time you do something, it is you. It is you. By the time you're fired, most cases, sorry to say, sometimes it's our fault, sometimes it is the situation happens where they need to lay off people. You know, those are different. But where you've done something wrong, you've been involved in a fight, you've been involved in theft, you've been involved in something, and you know well you did something wrong, and you're still blaming other people because of that inner self talk that doesn't accept reality, then there is something wrong. You need to get to a coach, you know, to help you understand that self talk, that negative self talk is real. So there's something that you talked about regarding the blame game, where people use others. And for me, I believe most of the things that happen to us, it's us, it's me.
mm-hmm,
But because I don't want to put it on me, I use reason for other people. And sometimes it may not even be you. For example, talking about, for example, if you've grown up I have a friend who likes to say this, and it's after I think 2 years now that imagine this guy is 35 years, but
mm-hmm.
it's 2 years ago that he decided to accept it was not the mom's fault that the dad left them.
Wow.
You know how you have a friend who keeps telling you, I blame my mom. I don't like my mom. I blame my mom because my dad left us. My dad didn't take care of us. We suffered because my mom did not, I don't know. He doesn't even have a reason why the man left.
Mm-hmm.
He just keeps saying, I blame my mom. I blame my mom. I was fired from 4 jobs. I blame all those people I worked with. I blame all my employers. What about you in those situations? So the blame game is a very, very common thing when it comes to this negative self-talk. You look for someone to put the blame on. My event was not successful because of this and this and this and this and this. How? You did your best. Circumstances happened. Things didn't go the way they were supposed to go. And that is life. You get.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I would give an example 2 weeks ago, Jay, when you're not able to come for the event, you have to explain to people. I had to explain to them, you know what? We are always here together, me and Coach Jay, but she can't make it because she's not feeling well. Otherwise, if I was that kind of a person, I go on, I'm like, oh, Coach Jay did not make it because she's saying she has cough, she has flu, she can still come and we see her face. People find reason to always put things on other people. I was going
Mm,
to use French right now. So try to take the blame game away. How? Like we said before, ask yourself, is it true? Is
mm-hmm,
it true I was fired because of the manager's fault, or because it's my fault and it's something I should work on? If it's something connected with theft, can I stop the theft? Can I try to find ways of someone helping me get rid of that kind of behavior? If it was fighting, find ways to find solution for your problem other than blaming others.
mm-hmm,
Be aware of what you tell yourself, because you could tell yourself something. For example, I'll give a simple example regarding also work. You tell yourself, I think in this workplace, everyone doesn't like me. I am a strong believer the moment you start using those words, that maybe the head of the school doesn't like me, definitely it is going to start showing. Even if the guy doesn't love you or that woman doesn't love you, it is going to start happening. They're going to start being unloving towards you, because now the way you're going to behave towards them is going to be unloving, and they're going to give that back to you. So what you tell yourself, you know in regards to even blame game, before you start blaming other people, whatever is happening to you in the school, they've reduced your salaries because the head of the school doesn't like you, yet maybe guy has nothing over that. Things are going to start happening. You're going to start seeing Coach J doesn't like me. You're going to start seeing Coach J not like Coach J not liking you. Yes, she didn't even have that mindset at all, but because you're behaving unlikely towards her, you're behaving unlovingly towards her, you're now behaving cruel towards her, she's going to give it back, because what you give is what you get. I say that with no remorse. What you give is what you get. You give love, you get love. You give kindness, you will get kindness.
mm.
So stop the blame game. If something happens and you feel like it did not go your way, tell yourself it will get better. Today wasn't as good as it went. Tomorrow will be better. When you start the negative self-talk, it is going to keep happening. That banana is going to keep growing and growing. Before you know it, it's bigger than you. I will insist on calling it a banana. That banana is going to grow because me, I stopped having I can't even give a name to it because it's not there. Eh? When it happens, I shake my head. When I'm starting to have those negative thoughts, I shake my head off. Go away. I'm better than that. Back to you, Coach Jay.
That's an amazing point. I think many people they are guilty of blaming. Something goes wrong, you need somebody to point your finger to. You don't want to accept that it's your mistake, you know. So my other point is kindness. Be kind to yourself. And that is one thing we forget a lot. Again, I'll give an example to myself with myself. And with kindness, I want to talk about where you at this point, there's no middle ground you do. It's either you're good or you're bad. There's no middle ground like, okay, I will improve. And I remember back in Feb when I left a job that I loved so much to pursue my passion in coaching, I was obsessed with the coaching of it. So there was no rest day. There was no, there was no weekend. There was no, when you're starting out something, you just give it your all. And I
Mm,
remember there those days when I don't wake up, maybe my schedule at that time was 6 a.m. If I don't wake up at 6 a.m. on a particular day, the whole day, the moods will be shattered. The moods will be horrible. I'll keep telling myself, why you didn't wake up? I just destroyed the mood of the whole day. And it was later on I came to learn that I'm a human being like any other person. I'm allowed, because even in NLP, we are told that sometimes we make decisions based on that moment that help that moment. Maybe I was exhausted from the previous day, but I don't want to see that. I just want to tell myself, Jenny, you're lazy. You're lazy. You're lazy. You're lazy. You didn't wake up today. So, what am I trying to say? Be kind to yourself. Don't have these set standards that it's either you're 100% or you're at zero. Sometimes you can be at 90 and you're still good enough. Sometimes you can be at 80, even at 50, and you're still good enough, because the moment you start telling yourself these negative words, I'm lazy, I cannot do this, I cannot do that, you destroy the mood you've set for yourself for the day. If you're supposed to wake up at 6, you wake up at 8, you're like, it's a good day. I've rested enough. I can even do more things that I'd planned to do today. Instead of like, oh shit, I slept. Already your mind is programmed. So be kind to yourself. Always be kind to yourself. You are your number one priority. Nobody else is going to be kind to you if you're not kind to yourself. So love yourself more, and then you'll start seeing other people love you. So, to finalize, I would like to say that there are three things that can happen if you have a negative self talk. Number one, it will affect your relationships with others, as Coach Jay has said. When I keep saying that my manager hates me, I will start behaving in a certain way, which is going to make them even hate me, and they didn't even have that in their head. It's going to affect your relationships with the people around you, your spouses, your children. Just think about all those people you're connected with. Number two, you might end up in depression mode because you're constantly in this concave. You're constantly thinking about bad things are going to happen. You always think how people hate you, you don't deserve anything. And then number three, you stop being resourceful because you're not thinking outside your comfort zone. Your comfort zone is they hate me, and that's where you stop. But if your comfort zone is, oh, they love me, what else can I do to make them love me even more? You become more resourceful. So those are top three things that I came up with. Back to Coach Joy for the closing remarks.
Yeah, so for me, the closing remark will be one. First of all, as a Dare to Glow coach, I believe that you can live a fully meaning life
Hmm.
with full of potential, a powerful and purposeful meaning life.
Hmm.
Only if you stop the limiting ability. Because when you have the limiting ability, you will not live to your full potential. So when you stop the negative talk, you live a fully meaningful life. But when you keep having that negative self talk, you're going to live a meaningless life, in my opinion, because everything is going to be bad to you. Everything is going to be negative. Everything is going to be disgusting. Everything is going to be like you're going to have everything is going to be wrong, 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 or no, 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 no. And it's okay to say no. But when it comes to self talk, it leads you to not living to your full potential. So, what will I leave to you? Please stop the negative talk if you want to live a more meaningful and successful life. Otherwise, if you're living in UAE, see you on 5th November, this Saturday, TXT in a lane. You can inbox us. You can inbox Coach J. You can inbox me. We can send you the registration form so that you make it and you learn to live a more meaningful life. Back
Yeah,
to
you
you,
have
Coach
to
J.
mention it is free. So anybody can show up and we have this time to talk, connect, learn and relearn from each other, because I believe the only asset you can give to yourself is learning and expanding your mindset, learning new things, understanding new things, listening to what other people have to say. Being a speaker on the day, I'm not going there just being a speaker. I'm going there to learn from other people, not just the speakers, but also from the crowd we're going to have, because every day is a learning day. So, my closing remarks for today's live is a quote from Bob Proctor: don't be a victim of negative self talk. Remember, you're listening. So the more you talk, your ears are right here. You're listening to yourself and you start manifesting all the things that you're saying. So we could not unpack everything. This is just a tip of the iceberg. If you're out there, you feel like you need somebody to help you, unpack the negative self-talk, know where you're coming from, how you can tackle the negative self-talk at a personal level. Coach Joy is there. I'm also there. You can always reach us through our emails. or Instagram or any other way we are connected. If you're watching this on YouTube, join our Facebook group, Mindset Shift CEOs, where we are live streaming from. It is a group where we're encouraging everybody to think with their head high. You don't have to be the leader of a company to be a CEO. You are a
Mhm.
CEO of your life. You are in charge of your life. And that is the message we are sending to each and every person by showing up to events, by reading more books, expanding your mindset, connecting with people, networking with people. You're making bold moves as the CEO of your life. So make sure in each and everything that you do, even showing up, that's a CEO move, you know. So make sure that you make all those bold decisions for yourself as the CEO of your mind. We shall see you next week. For those who will be seen on Saturday, I'm looking forward. Thank you so much.
All right. Ciao, ciao. Stay safe and
Bye.
stay blessed.